Welcome back to the Bluechip Breakdown, Vols fans, and everybody else. We are your hosts, Bull and Bray, and in today's video, we're just going to be talking about the schedule of college football season 2024, week to week, what's going to be the game of the week, and we're going to maybe be picking different games each week. So we would love to hear y'all's comments and thoughts down in the comments section. As always, please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Let's go ahead and jump into it. All right, so starting off with, I don't know if this is week 0, Bray, or this is week 1, but we'll just maybe not even go week to week, but just off of each day. So Saturday, August the 24th, 2024 is going to be the first weekend of college football. And just looking at this, Bray, I'm going to let you go first. What is going to be your game of the week on the first Saturday?
I think my game of the week for sure is going to be Florida State and Georgia Tech. I think that's going to be a good matchup. See how Florida State comes out with their new quarterback, DJU, and see how they come out and they perform after, devastating into last season.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably going to go with the same one. Obviously, the other ones is kind of a non-factor, so we're going to roll it on up. Now we've got Thursday, August the 29th. This is probably the day that most people think is going to be like the real first day of college football. And I'm just going to scan through here real quickly. I don't see anything that's catching my eye so far, Bray. But do you see anything that's kind of standing out to you?
I think that Colorado North Dakota State game, and that's probably going to be one of the most viewed games of the season just because, Deion's second season coming in, Shador and Travis' last season in college football. Just seeing how they come out and seeing how they start their season, I feel like that's probably going to be my game of the day for that date.
For that Thursday.
Yeah.
So Colorado versus North Dakota State. North Dakota State is, historically a really good program. They won a whole bunch of national titles at whatever level that they're playing at. I'm not going to go there. I'm actually going to go to North Carolina and Minnesota because that looks like that's the only game that's kind of, like Power 5 That would be the one that I would pick. So let's move on to this Friday. Actually, this is fun. I can't wait for football season. So Friday, August the 30th. Who do you got right here, Bray? Not seeing a whole lot of stuff right here. I think I've got my eyes on one, but who are you going to be picking?
I'll probably go to that TCU Stanford game just because
pick mine.
Just because the reason you just said it's the one of the only Power 4 conference opponent games on there, and just seeing how those two teams come out. It's with this being Stanford's first game in the ACC, seeing how their new look, staff and program goes on and forms.
Yeah, so TCU, their first game of the season last year versus Colorado was a huge letdown after they went out there and got blown out in the national title game versus UGA. A whole lot of folks wanted to crown UGA after that one, and I said, why would you do that? TCU sucks, and then Colorado goes out there and proves it. On the first game of the following season. But I'm actually going to go as a Vol fan, Oklahoma versus Temple. I'm going to watch this one very closely. Temple is never a bad program. Well, no, I wouldn't say never. You never say never. But they're not going to be a terrible program. I think that'll be a good test for Oklahoma. And I want to start to scout, what the Sooners look like. That, to me, is going to be the one. Now, let's move on to the Saturday. This is the real one. August the 31st. Bray, and for everyone else, we're just going to kind of scroll through here. Y'all can see it's a whole lot of games. Oh my gosh. Bray, I mean, that's a lot of them. Which one are you gonna pick though?
Dang, this is a tough one.
It's tough.
I'm actually gonna go Notre Dame and Texas A&M. I think that's gonna
there is a lot of good ones that week.
That's gonna be a good game. Just see how Coach Elko comes out his first game with Texas A&M and that kind of rebranded program. Seeing them versus Notre Dame, who a lot of people are saying that's a sleeper team coming this year. I really I see that matchup, but like you said, there's a bunch of great games coming on this.
Oh my goodness! So I'm gonna go through some of the ones that I'm just kind of seeing right now. So Penn State versus West Virginia might not be historically a great game, but Clemson versus Georgia, that game, all those games, maybe all those games might be at about noon. And as I'm continuing to scroll through, obviously I'm gonna be watching my Volunteers versus UT Chat. That's gonna be good one. Miami versus Florida. Billy Napier, I mean, that right there, that might be one of his easiest games throughout the entire season. Toughest schedule in all of college football.
For sure.
That's a big one. If they lose that one, they're in really big trouble. But, same thing could be said about Miami. If they lose to Florida, they're in trouble.
Bad.
Okay, let's see what else we got right here. I'm just going to keep on scrolling through. UCLA versus Hawaii, that should kind of be a little bit of a blowout. You know what I mean? Let's see, what else do we have?
I like that Georgia Tech versus Georgia State game. I feel like that's a
that one might
Atlanta rivalry.
Yeah.
That's Coach McGee's first game at Georgia State. So I'm interested how that program looks, and that's an Atlanta rivalry game. So that's gonna be an interesting game.
That's two programs. They ain't nothing but maybe 5 miles at the most from each other. Like they're right down the street. That is gonna be a good one. I actually wouldn't mind going to see that one. You know what I'm saying? Like on but it's just gonna be too high. I was gonna say I'm thinking
it's at 8.
It's gonna be fall. Oh, okay. So yeah, at 8, but that's that's at the end of August.
Yeah.
It might be about 73, 74.
Perfect weather. Yeah.
Perfect weather down here in ATL, Georgia. I like that one a lot. So at Bray, I think that you got a really good one right there with that Texas A&M versus Notre Dame. I don't know who to pick on this one. I think that maybe my game of the week is gonna have to be Miami versus Florida. It's too much that goes into that one. So that's the one that I'm gonna pick. But let's move on right here to Sunday, September the 1st. Well, this is USC versus LSU. Maybe we could have thrown this in, and that's the one that I was looking for. Maybe we could kind of throw that into, that Saturday right there.
Yeah.
Actually, I might try to change my pick right here. I think that I'm probably going to be going LSU versus USC. Yeah. And then on that Monday, we've also got Florida State versus BC. Do you want to change your pick right here, Bray?
Nah, I don't. I still like that Notre Dame, Texas A&M game.
That real opening week is going to be something very serious. Great. That's going to be serious. All right, so we are moving on to the second week. And then Friday, do you like any of these matches right here on Friday? Indiana, they're trying to build something new here. Yeah. They're going up against Western Illinois. Do you like that one?
Nah, I don't really see nothing on Friday catch my eye like that.
Okay, so let's start scanning through right here. Saturday, September the 7th. Anything that's catching anyone's eye. Oregon and Boise State, that one could be very interesting. USC at Utah State, that one could also get interesting. Why does that being kept?
I'm looking at that.
Georgia Tech versus Syracuse? Wow.
Oh, they play week 2?
Wow.
Coach Fran, that's going to be his first big test. See how he does.
That's going to be
I think you skipped over Texas, Michigan.
Where's that at? I definitely missed it.
Texas and Michigan.
Texas and Michigan. Okay, so that's my pick for this week. But I'm going to let you pick one.
I would go to that pick, but there's a game at 7:30, I think, this week. Colorado, Nebraska. That's going to be my game of the week.
Too. Oh, my God. Oh, man, how did I forget about us week 2? No, I got to change my pick. I'm going with my Volunteers versus NC State, but Bray, I'm going to let you finish what you were saying.
Nebraska, Colorado. We can see Dylan versus Shador,
Dylan Raiola.
Dylan,
you already know what I'm going for.
That's my boy, but playing versus Colorado, I don't know who I'm going to root for that game. I'm probably going to be rooting for the offenses, but, I feel that's going to be a good game because I feel like Deion, that's going to be his, really first big test going to Nebraska. Nebraska, their fan base is crazy. I think they have the record for the most sellout games in the country in a row or something like that. Yeah. So that's going to be a good game. Just seeing how Colorado comes out versus Nebraska. Wow. I think that's probably going to be. If I had to pick that would be my game of the week. But Texas, Michigan, that's also going to be a good game too.
I'm gonna tell you a couple of sleepers right here. Okay, Oklahoma versus Houston. Again, I'm keeping a very close eye out on Oklahoma, but we can't look past week 2 at NC State. Or it's not at NC State, but versus NC State. The game is going to be in North Carolina. Also, Clemson versus App State. Don't be surprised, okay, to see Clemson come out and get a big time win versus UGA.
Wrong.
Come out on the following week and lose to App State. Wouldn't that be something?
So that won't be happening.
Wouldn't that be something?
Georgia will beat Clemson by 30 points.
And then we've also got Duke versus Northwestern. Northwestern is one of those sneaky good teams. They just, for some reason, they're always good. I would actually like to go to one of their games up there in Chi-Town. Mississippi State versus Arizona State. What do you think about that one, Bray?
I think that could be definitely like a fun late night game, like very high scoring type game.
10:30, boy, that's late.
That's gonna be after Tennessee, NC State, Colorado, Nebraska. It's gonna be after some good games. So when you're about to hit the bed, that's probably a good game to turn on. I also like that Oregon State and San Diego State game.
San Diego State's got some talent out there, but I think Oregon State. Yeah. But we don't know. Oregon State's lost a lot of players.
Yeah, they lost a lot of players.
What conference are they in right now?
So they're technically still in the Pac-12, but I think they play Mountain West.
So they're in the Pac-1?
The Pac-2.
Pac-2, so Washington State's still there.
Yeah, so they play like the Mountain West opponents or something. I don't know how that works, but
it's going to be a whole lot of fun. We're about getting into week 3. I'm already very excited. So for week 3, Thursday, September the 12th, Arizona State versus Texas State. That should be a blowout. Northwestern State versus South Alabama. I got South Alabama now, but I know that we're not really picking games, but it's kind of going through this. Now, Friday, UNLV versus Kansas. What do you think right here? You think Kansas rolls or what? Actually, we can maybe skip past that. Arizona versus Kansas State. Now, is that Noah Fafita?
Yeah.
He's playing for Arizona, right?
He's playing for Arizona, but Arizona also has another receiver. His name is, I don't know how to pronounce his name. It's like, his last name is McMillan. I'm not sure how to pronounce his first name, but he's projected to be like a top 10, top 15 pick in the draft. He's a receiver, number 4. He could be a sleeper for the Biletnikoff Award. I really like his game. He's very smooth, very tall.
You forgot about
physical.
Chris Brazzell, Brew
we'll see.
All the guys. Come on now.
We'll see. But I think that's going to be a good game.
That was going to be a good one.
Arizona just came off a very good season last year. They did lose their head coach to Washington. So just seeing how they come out and rebuild and versus a good Kansas State team, and that's gonna be a good one for sure.
That one is going to be a really good one. What do you think about Arkansas State versus Michigan? You think Arkansas State's got a chance right there?
No.
I wouldn't mind seeing Michigan going down. Oregon versus Oregon State. Does Oregon roll here, or, where's that game at? Is at Oregon State. You think Oregon State could get their early upset and shake up college football as we all know it?
I don't think so. I think Oregon has too much talent this year. I feel like this is kind of like meant to be their year. I feel like
what is that? Is this right? Why are all these rivalry games happening so early in the season?
Yeah,
Washington versus Washington State?
Because, like I said, in the pack, they have to play their Mountain West opponents later in the season, so they have to fit their games in.
That's a very interesting wrinkle. Okay, yeah. So Alabama versus Wisconsin. That's another one. LSU versus South Carolina. Is this going to be a banger every single week?
Yeah, it's going to be great. With the one that I kind of have an eye on, that this might not be as good a game, but Indiana versus UCLA, I think this is the first one I've seen.
That could be a really good game.
Where, a team, traditional Big Ten teams goes out west and plays one of their new opponents every year. I really have my eye on that game. I think Indiana, Coach Tino over there, they're bringing the offensive corner and their head coach, the guy from James Madison. They're bringing a good culture over there. I'm really, interested to see versus UCLA's new staff, UCLA's new players. But that would be a good game, too.
That would be so most people are just talking about the Pac-12 teams that came to the Big Ten having to play in that cold weather. But what do the Big Ten teams do having to go out there and playing in that heat? This is still kind of early on. I mean, this is early September, mid to early September. I don't know what the weather's like out there in Southern California. It's probably going to be perfect. Yeah. But that could also be interesting. And then we've also got, what was the one that I just saw? Texas A&M versus Florida. Yeah. Man, look, Oklahoma versus Tulane. I mean, my gosh, it's a whole lot of bangers right here, baby. I love it. Utah versus Utah State. You got to love that. Right, Arkansas versus UAB. Don't sleep on that game. That could be a pretty good one. I want to see what Arkansas does early on.
West Virginia versus Pitt. That's a rivalry game.
That's always a good game.
It's always a good game.
Is that going to be it for the good ones? Georgia versus Kentucky this early?
Georgia rolls.
Georgia versus Kentucky. I mean, hey, look. That what's his name? The daggone backup.
Freaking Brock Vandagriff. Yeah, I mean, Brock, we love you and thank you for a great
games in Lexington. Is it going to be some fireworks there?
No, Georgia rolls by at least 3 touchdowns.
I have to agree with you. Maryland versus Virginia. I think Maryland wins that one.
Freaking Colorado versus Colorado State. We all know what happened last year. Big time rivalry game, and
that is a big one.
See if Travis can get his get back. It's gonna be that's probably gonna be a good game like it was last year too.
Yeah, so I don't know how to pick this one, Bray. I think that I'm probably, I guess the easy one for everybody would probably be Alabama and Wisconsin. LSU, South Carolina, we kind of talked about that. Realistically speaking, LSU should be a lot better than South Carolina. South Carolina kind of sucks. Yeah. I think I might be going, do I want to do this again? Do I want to pick Florida again? I might be going Texas A&M and Florida. The game is in the swamp, and especially if Florida loses, every single game, the more that they lose, turns into more and more must-wins. Yeah. Now, me as a Tennessee fan, I don't want to see Billy Napier go. So that's going to be the game that I might be watching the closest. Now, let's go on to week 4. Let's see what we got.
Week 4. I think my game of the week for that prior week is Arizona, Kansas State.
Oh, you know what? Arizona, Kansas State. Yeah, that's probably would have been my pick too, but it's too late. So, the first day on Thursday, September the 19th. Nothing really there. Friday, September the 20th. Stanford and Syracuse. That could be a very interesting matchup. That's 2 programs that are trying to get it back together. Yeah. That one's going to be fun. I've got mine. I'm going to let you go. Arkansas versus Auburn, UCLA versus LSU, Vandy, Mizzou. Is that going to be a game?
It could very well could be. Let's see. For
Illinois versus Nebraska. I like that one.
For this week, I think I'm going UCLA, LSU.
Well, hold on, though, because we also got NC State versus Clemson. NC State coming off of a big-time loss to the Volunteers in their home state, having to go down and play Clemson. I mean, this could be that could be a game. Are we still fighting for a playoff spot? Yeah. Can we still win the ACC?
Let's keep going.
Miami versus South Florida. Hey, listen.
That's it. Hey, that's a game. Coach Alex Golish from Tennessee.
This guy knows how to win ball games.
He's getting that program turned around.
I think Coach Heupel taught him how to play ball down there. That's one that people close eye out on. Oklahoma State versus Utah. I've heard a whole lot of buzz about Oklahoma State. They're one of the best offensive lines in the whole country. How that happened, I don't know. I don't know if I've ever seen someone announce for Oklahoma State in my entire life. Ever. How are they getting players?
Oklahoma State now does have the best running back in the country. His name is Ollie Gordon, sleeper Heisman candidate. He's a very good running back. That's going to be, Oklahoma
I don't know if I call him the best in the whole country. I think that's a little, but all right.
We'll see. USC at Michigan.
Where is that one at?
Right here.
USC versus Michigan?
Yeah, right here. 3:30.
Okay.
Bring on.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that one's going to be
on CBS. That doesn't look right.
Doesn't that hurt?
That just doesn't look right.
All right, so Bray, go ahead and take your pick, man.
I'll probably go to that USC at Michigan game. I think that's gonna be the first game where like the two different styles of play like really collide with each other, and I want to see how USC's new whole defensive staff, new defense kind of responds to Michigan. You know, ground and pound with Donovan Edwards, their new quarterback. But I also want to see how USC, just comes out and perform, because I feel like this is kind of a make or break year for Lincoln Riley. In his third year there. Yeah,
for sure. So that's a good one. Y'all already know what I'm going with. If you've been watching this channel very closely, I'm going with my Volunteers. First, Oklahoma. A whole lot of storylines, man. Josh Heupel, comes from Oklahoma. You know what I'm saying? Played there, almost won the Heisman there, has a whole lot of success there, coached there, all that type of stuff. Sounds like there's some bad blood between him and someone. I don't know all the finite details, but that's going to be a big one for us, as Volunteers, going down to Norman. Nico, first SEC game, and it's on the road. Yeah. What does he do in an environment that's probably going to be extremely hostile? I think that this is when he has that true Heisman game that solidifies him. Not even breakout game, because I think the breakout game is going to come versus NC State. Yeah. But at Oklahoma, I think that's when people say, okay, this guy's special. He's different. And that's when everyone's going to be saying, hey, if you're not already committed to the Tennessee Volunteers, you're coming on home. So that is going to be my pick.
I know we're not making predictions. I like Tennessee by 2 touchdowns in that game.
Only 2 touchdowns, Bray. I expected better from you. All right, so on to week 5. We've got the matchup Army versus Temple. That could be a pretty good game. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I don't really like watching those military schools play. Nah. I don't like that sort of offense. I never have. It's a little bit too slow pace for me. Yeah. But we've also got Virginia Tech at Miami. What do you think about this one, Bray? And then also Washington at Rutgers. Do you like either one of those picks or games?
Just seeing how Miami comes out, I feel like that's going to kind of like, how their season starts. I feel like this could be a very, good game. Cam Moore. That game kind of has my eye a little bit, but I want to keep it going.
All right, let's keep on going. There's way better matchups. Arkansas at Texas A&M. That's going to be a good one. Oklahoma at Auburn. Mississippi State at Texas. Illinois at Penn State. Maryland at Indiana. Minnesota at Michigan. Ohio State at Michigan State. Wow. Whole bunch of good ones. Nebraska at Purdue. Oregon at UCLA. Wisconsin at USC. Louisville at Notre Dame. This might be the week. This is nonstop.
If I'm not mistaken.
I don't know if we have enough TVs, Bray, for all this. I don't know if we got enough.
No, a lot. It's very weird to me, like just seeing these matchups like Stanford at Clemson in like week 5,
ain't that crazy?
like Wisconsin at USC. It just like catching my eye a little bit.
It's real different. North Carolina at Duke.
Yeah.
Is Duke going to be able to maintain and be a good team like they kind of have been, or do they just fall off the face of the planet? That's a big time rivalry game. That's early in the season. That's crazy. Let's see. Are there any other ones that really stand out?
I got my game pick for this week, but you
already got your game. Looks like all the good ones was up at the top.
I
thought it was
nope.
What's yours? Go ahead. What's yours?
Georgia Bama, man.
Georgia Bama. That is the game of the week. There's no question. That's gonna be a break Saturday, bro.
That's gonna be bro. That's probably the one. I think that's the best Saturday so far.
That is by far. Yeah, I wouldn't even say by far, but that is the best Saturday so far.
Just seeing how DeBoer, I feel that's going to be his first really big SEC test.
Yeah.
Just seeing, but also seeing how Georgia goes down and respond. I will come out.
Down there, Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, I like us by 2-3 touchdowns. But seeing how Carson Beck, goes down there, carves defense up. I got Georgia in that game, but
I think that one could maybe end up being a little bit of a shootout. I think that Alabama's defense is going to take a big step back. At the same time, I think that Alabama's fan base is going to start to have to get more into the games. They're so used to Nick Saban. We don't have to do much except show up and, kind of look however we want to look and just let Saban and, let the whole team take over. Now they're going to see what it's like. And I think that by this point in the season, they're going to be pretty used to it. This one right here is going to be a whole lot of fun to watch. I've got Alabama. I've got them by, I'm going to say 5 points. Let's go on to week number 6.
Wow, this is great. I can't wait for season, man. This is great.
So far, I'm not seeing a whole lot that stands out to me. Houston, TCU could be kind of interesting if you like that type of stuff. So we've got my Volunteers right here up at the top. At Arkansas, probably not going to be that interesting of a game. I think that the balls roll right here. But Central Florida, at Florida, down in the swamp, I almost want to pick that one. Yeah. Auburn at UGA, almost want to pick that one too. Ole Miss at South Carolina, to be able to kill them.
Bama versus Vandy, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not seeing Michigan and Washington. Washington's probably going to kind of fall off a little bit. I'm not seeing a whole lot of other things that really stands out to me too much. UCLA at Penn State, that could be pretty interesting at this point in the season. Might kind of be, chilly up there. We'll see. Miami's going to be playing at Cal.
Dude, it's just so weird just seeing these, like I said.
You know what's crazy is Miami's going to be cold going out there playing at Cal at this point in the season. It's going to be a huge difference. Yeah. Duke at Georgia Tech could be a really good one. Clemson at Florida State could be a really good one as well.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing too much
DJU revenge game. I think my game of the week is Clemson versus Florida State.
And that was going to be mine.
Storylines. We'll see how DJ comes out versus former team. But I mean, I think there's, this is a pretty solid week of college football. I mean, never compared to the last week. That last week
was crazy. That was unbelievable. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and go with Auburn at Georgia. A lot of folks are probably going to say, well, Georgia's going to kill Auburn. But did they do it last year with an Auburn team that was a lot less talented? No. Georgia has the same amount of talent. They've got the exact same coaching staff almost, pretty much, except for a few of their good guys are gone. Georgia's taking steps backwards. Auburn's taking steps forward. I don't care where the game is at. Auburn hates Georgia. Coach Freeze can coach. Kirby Smart's not that good of a coach. He's not a good X's and O's coach. He knows how to coach discipline. He knows how to go out and get good players. But from the X's and O's perspective, I like this matchup for me is way in favor of Hugh Freeze.
Go dog.
Do not be surprised to see UGA go down in this one in a big time surprise loss down there in Athens. How about this? Go Tigers. How about that, baby?
For you.
Hey, and go Tigers. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna go on to week 7. What do we got right now? I don't really see nothing for the first on that Wednesday. There's nothing there. Thursday, nothing there. On the Friday, maybe Northwestern Maryland might kind of pique your interest. Not too much.
Memphis, South Florida, but that kind of has me.
That one could be fun. That one could be fun. I think the South Florida's probably going to kill Memphis though. At this point, I mean, South Florida's probably going to be a pretty solid team. Now for Saturday, October 12th, Mississippi State at Georgia. That probably should be a blowout in favor of Georgia, but you never know. Okay, that game's going to be close at halftime. This one actually is going to be one that I'm going to be watching very closely because Mississippi State runs a very similar offense to Tennessee. So that will, kind of tell us, hey, what do we need to work on? But it's also going to help Georgia out. We've got my Volunteers hosting the hated Florida Gators. That might be my pick, but we'll keep on going. Ohio State at Oregon. Wow, Penn State at USC.
Wow.
What else? Stanford at Notre Dame. I don't know about that one. Syracuse at NC State. That one could be pretty good. Anything else, Bray, that's kind of piquing your interest on this?
Texas, Oklahoma. Texas,
wow.
Colorado.
Is that this weekend?
Yep.
Oh, my goodness. Wow, yeah. At 3:30? These games are too early.
Colorado, Kansas State kind of has me a little bit.
That one maybe could be a good one.
Just because Dylan Edwards, he went to Kansas State, transferred from Colorado, and that kind of has a storyline a little bit to it. But if I had to pick a game, I'll go Texas, Oklahoma. Actually, I'll go Texas, Oklahoma.
Yeah, that might be my pick too, but I'm going to go ahead and roll my Volunteers, man. I think that hosting Florida, this is going to be really big for us. I mean, we got to kind of get over that hump of being able to beat Florida.
Yeah.
But not usually, but we have beat them at home up under Coach Heupel. So let's continue that streak, and then let's expect to go down to the swamp on the following year and be able to.
I'm actually going to change my pick to Ohio State, Oregon.
Ohio State, Oregon is another one. This is another weekend with some very, very good matchups. Definitely looking forward to it. Yeah.
I feel like that's going to be like a top 5, top 10 matchup by that time. Ohio State having to go to Oregon. Mm-hmm. Just all that talent Ohio State's had and all that talent Oregon has. Them going over each other, I feel like that's gonna be a great game.
All right, so let's go on to what week we on now, Bray? Whatever week this is.
Week 8.
Okay, then we're already okay. So we're on week 8. Nothing on Tuesday. Nothing really on Wednesday. Thursday, maybe Boston College, Virginia Tech. Boston College. Didn't they get what's his name?
Bill O'Brien.
Bill O'Brien. That's a guy that I don't believe in nothing that he does. But they also got Coach Robinson, and he played with my son way back in the day. And so, I like him, but I think that he might be their DC, or he's done pretty high up. So I hope that they do well. But outside of that, I don't see a whole lot.
I see one. I see 2.
Oh, okay. Well, I do see a whole lot. Yeah, actually, I do see 2. I see the same 2 that you're seeing. Well, let's see what else we got. I think that we all probably saw those same 2. Wow, I did not realize that was happening on the same weekend.
I did.
That's crazy. All right, so Bray, go ahead and take your pick.
I'm going Georgia, Texas. This is going to be the number 1 versus number 2 team in the country. They're going to go up versus each other. I'm calling it right now. That's gonna be a great game. As a Georgia fan, that's the most scary game for me on our schedule. I think that's gonna be a great game. I couldn't even tell who's gonna win right now. I'm going Georgia. But that's gonna be dev for me. That's the game of the week. But the Alabama Tennessee game too.
That one probably will be the national game of the week. Just kind of like depending on how things play out. Now I kind of talked about Georgia could have lost the game or two heading into this one. Now Bray, whenever you said this is the scariest game for you, I know that you meant up until this point because I know that you didn't forget that you got to play up against our volunteers.
It's not scary.
November the 19th.
Not scary for me.
That one's going to turn into Halloween for y'all. I can promise you that it's going to be a late Halloween because. Y'all would have probably already lost 3 or 4 games by that point, and we're just going to put you out of your misery. My question for this weekend is this going to be the catalyst to Kirby Smart getting fired? I hope not. I want to keep him around because if you get the right coach at UGA, you should have the #1 class every single year with absolute no question.
We're going to have #1.
But I'm going to go with my Volunteers the 3rd Saturday in October, hosting that hated Alabama Crimson Tide. I got my Volunteers winning. I got us winning big in that one. Let's go on to week number 9. First, Tuesday right there. I don't see nothing. Wednesday, nothing. Thursday, not a whole. Well, maybe Syracuse at Pitt. That could be pretty good. Friday, maybe Louisville at Boston College. Maybe Rutgers at USC is probably going to. I mean, that might actually turn into a pretty solid game. Yeah. Now for the Saturday, Mizzou at Alabama. That could be a pretty good game. Yeah. Auburn at Kentucky. Oklahoma at Ole Miss. That's going to be a good one. Arkansas, Mississippi State, LSU at Texas A&M. Oh my gosh, dude. Let's see what else we got here. Illinois at Oregon. Probably not going to be nothing there. Nebraska at Ohio State. I actually think that Dylan Raiola going up against the first team that he committed to, he might go up there and show out. I would not be surprised to see that game be a lot closer than the experts think. I really would not. Florida State at Miami. That should be a really good game. Georgia Tech at Virginia Tech. North Carolina at Virginia, that should be kind of a blowout. Anything else that's kind of stand out to you right here, Bray? I mean, obviously there's some games that look like they could be pretty close, but
now my game of the week for this week is going to be Ohio State and Nebraska. I think by this time, Nebraska will probably they might have one loss, to Colorado, but other than that, they might be undefeated coming to this game. I think this is going to be Dylan's game to where he can really show why he was rated number 1, number 2 recruit in the country. Yeah. For me, that's my game of the week. But,
Okay. So I'm going to go, Oklahoma at Ole Miss. I think that's going to be a very, very good game. But also LSU at Texas A&M. A lot of folks I feel like are sleeping on Texas A&M. That might be the one. Yeah. But I'm probably, just for the sake of my Volunteers, I'm probably going to be going with the Oklahoma and at Ole Miss game. Yeah. There's a whole lot of volunteer types of storylines in that one. I'm not going to pick anybody just yet. Wait until that week. Now on to, week 10. On that Tuesday, nothing. Wednesday, Kennesaw State. Kennesaw State at Western Kentucky, maybe. Thursday, really nothing right there.
Friday,
okay, so now the Saturday. Let's see here. Don't see nothing. I mean, Kentucky's coming to Knoxville to get blown out again? That ain't, that ain't going to be no daggone ball game. Oregon and Michigan. I like that one. Yeah. I like that one a lot.
Clemson, Louisville,
that should be a good one.
Florida, Georgia.
Ooh, boy.
I'm not even going to.
That one could be a good one as well. All right, so Bray, go ahead and make your pick.
I'm going Clemson, Louisville. I feel like that's going to be a good game. I think that's going to be, a stepping stone for like both staffs, both teams. Because I don't know how, what Clemson or Louisville's Rex going to be there by that time. I haven't really dove into both of their schedules yet. But I feel like that can also be a really good game.
Okay, so I'm going to be going with Oregon and Michigan. I think that should be a very entertaining game, especially at this point in the season. Can Oregon handle that type of cold weather? I think that they can because it does tend to get pretty cold up in Oregon. But, at this point in the season, it might be a little bit of snow up there in Ann Arbor. So that could be very interesting, especially with the Brian Kelly type of an offense. Or I'm sorry, with the Chip Kelly type of an offense. All right, so on to the next week. Nothing so far. Yeah, I'm not really. Okay, I got one. Actually, I got a couple. I got a couple. Bray, see anything that's sticking out to you?
I think I'm gonna go Georgia and Ole Miss.
That's gonna be a really good one.
That's gonna be a really good game. I want to see how last year Georgia, Ole Miss, I think it was 52-17 or something like that. But Ole Miss roster has gotten much better since then. So I feel like that's going to be definitely a good game. I feel like by that time, that would be a 2, top 10 type matchup. But I also like that Alabama LSU game as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that Georgia Ole Miss game last season, that was in Athens, and the game was pretty close for about 2.5 quarters. And, Lane Kiffin did not have the depth, but this season he should have it. And the game's going to be in Oxford, so I could see this one being another one that UGA loses. Now, also, Alabama playing at LSU, Kalen DeBoer going down to Death Valley. This game is more than likely going to be at night. Can he find a way to win right there, especially at this point? They've got a pretty tough schedule. We've seen that so far.
Yeah.
This might be a must-win game for them. So that one could also be a pick. But Oklahoma at Mizzou, two teams that Coach Heupel used to coach for. I mean, I kind of don't like either one of these teams, but I kind of don't like Mizzou even more. I'm just going to go ahead and go with Alabama, LSU, because historically those have been been really, really good games historically. Usually those are like the best games of the season. Now, on to week number 12. Nothing so far, nothing is sticking out to me. Okay, I got mine.
Yeah, but we both got ours.
I've actually got a couple. But we're just going to scroll through this. I think we've already made our pick. We're going to scroll through it for y'all. You can pause it at your own leisure. But go ahead, Bray. I'm going to let you go first.
So, this is because I know you're going to pick, I know what game you're going to pick. I'm going to go USC, Nebraska. Okay, and I feel that's gonna be a good game. Okay, it's gonna be a high scoring game, but I'm gonna let you make your pick.
Yeah, well, you already know mine. Yeah. Y'all already know every single year of my life, I will always have one game, 1 week circled that I'm going to go above and beyond, giving my all for Tennessee, because you already know I do that every single day. But somehow I find that little bit of extra strength to give even more in this week. I absolutely cannot stand University of Georgia. Don't like the fans, don't like the players, don't like their coaches. I don't like their stadium. I don't like the city, the town, the freaking county of Athens, Clarke County. I do not like it. I hate it. I can't stand it. This is always going to be my game of the week. Vols roll real big. Vols come down there. Nico shows out in a very dominant way. And listen, I don't just want to win. I want to win and inflict pain on every single play. I do not want to turn down not one kill shot, not even one. I don't care if we take 15 yards. Hey, look, give us the 15 yards. We're going to take another one, right? You have to be able to overcome that. I am expecting for us to go out there and it'd be a freaking 60-minute slugfest of our volunteers. 60 minutes of rock 'em sock 'em, like Coach Foreman used to say, where we are just freaking walking them daggum dogs on up out the stadium.
Yep, that's not going to happen. But, this game, we argue about this probably every day. Okay, so this is definitely, probably the game of the week for sure. But, I know y'all saw the NTA trailer. Okay, when Nico came to the Stanford, he was rattled. You're going to see the exact same thing.
That is a video game, sir. And that was
dogs roll, go dogs.
Okay, the game was not fully done yet. We all know that. And, hey, look, by this week, I bet you if you run that simulation back, Tennessee's going to be winning.
Wrong.
I will bet you money on that one. All right, so we're going to go on to the next week. Let's see what we got right here. Nothing so far. Probably just got to get to Saturday. NC State at Georgia State could be a pretty good game.
Yep.
Let's see what else we got right here. Louisville, I'm sorry, that's Louisiana Tech at Arkansas. That ain't gonna be no game. Texas A&M at Auburn, that could be a pretty good one.
Yep.
Mizzou at Mississippi State, probably not gonna be. Alabama at Oklahoma, that's a good one.
Dang.
That's probably gonna be my pick. But Bray, go ahead.
Let's see. Just going through these games. Ooh. Nah, I mean, I don't really.
It's a couple spicy ones.
Yeah, I mean,
that UMass down in Athens,
dude.
that one, come on, that one could get spicy.
You don't believe that yourself. Dang, right here, I'll probably have to go USC, UCLA. Actually, okay. No, I think that could be pretty interesting games, a rivalry game. And after seeing those games, I feel like that's gonna be the game of the week. I like that matchup a lot.
All right, so I'm gonna go with Alabama at Oklahoma. Wouldn't that be surprised to see Oklahoma win that one? I know a lot of folks, some people are kind of down on Oklahoma, but I think that they're gonna have a really good team. They may only lose to our Volunteers, or maybe us in Texas. All right, so now on to this week. Nothing so far.
Friday.
See anything?
I see Friday. Right. Colorado, Oklahoma State, Georgia Tech. Thankfully they spread apart so I can watch both games. Which one am I gonna pick? I'm gonna pick Colorado, Oklahoma State. That Georgia Tech game is probably gonna be spicy because I don't know if you saw the comments Georgia Tech's coach made about Georgia. Mm-mm. He said he hates everything about the program. Pretty much what you just said. He said he hates everything
everyone says the exact same thing, bro.
And I think Georgia, I think Kirby's gonna take that personal. Don't be surprised if that 70-0, 80-0 type of game right there. I mean, it's gonna get ugly.
All right, so there's a part of me that kind of wants to pick Florida at Florida State. It's because I'm very interested in that storyline with Florida and their schedule, but I won't pick that one because I picked them too many times. I want to go with Texas at Texas A&M. When's the last time that they played?
2011. I'm gonna say
they haven't played for a long time. That's got to be my pick for game of the week, and it's at Texas A&M. That one should be a whole bunch of fun. But there's several pretty good matchups.
Rivalry
week for sure. Yeah, so that was rivalry week. And this right here, next is going to be the Bowls.
Week 15.
And wait,
that would be like the SEC championship.
Okay, yeah. So we'll just kind of show you all this. So this is kind of like the times and all that stuff. But let's switch it on over. All right, so that's gonna be it for this one. Hope that y'all was leaving y'all's thoughts and comments down every single week. But thank you so much for sticking all the way to the end. And please, as always, make sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, share with your friends, family, and other volunteer fans. Go Vols. We'll see y'all in the next one. Thanks. Peace.